Success is not a stroke of luck or a sudden event. It is a slow and steady climb, built on a foundation of discipline, practiced daily. Many people admire the results of success, wealth, recognition, freedom, but they rarely see the consistent habits that made it possible. Behind every successful individual is a routine filled with intention, commitment, and discipline. It's not about working harder for just one day, but about showing up every day, even when motivation fades and the path gets tough. Discipline is what turns dreams into plans and plans into achievements. It is the decision to keep going when distractions are loud, when failure feels fresh, and when results are still invisible. Anyone can set a goal, but it's the disciplined few who follow through. They don't rely on inspiration to get them moving. They rely on systems they've built into their lives. They wake up with purpose. They know that success doesn't happen in the future. It is created in the present moment, through the actions we take, repeatedly. Discipline is not always exciting. It can look like waking up early when you'd rather sleep in, reading when you'd rather scroll, working when you'd rather relax. It's about making sacrifices in the short term, for the sake of the long-term vision. Success demands patience, and discipline is the glue that holds you to your goals during the slow seasons. It teaches you that showing up, even imperfectly, matters more than waiting for perfect conditions that may never. The mind is the foundation of every action we take and every goal we pursue. But the mind itself is not static. It is shaped and influenced by our daily habits. The way we think, respond, and perceive the world is deeply tied to the small, repeated behaviors we engage in. These habits, often invisible or overlooked, silently build our mindset over time. They are not grand gestures, but simple choices made consistently. How we start our mornings, how we talk to ourselves, how we respond to failure, and how we treat others. All of these contribute to the way we see our lives and what we believe is possible. A powerful mindset doesn't emerge overnight. It is the result of persistent conditioning. Just like muscles are built through regular training, a strong mindset is built through intentional mental habits. People who achieve great things are not necessarily born with more confidence or clarity. Instead, they've trained themselves to think in ways that serve their purpose. They make it a habit to stay calm under pressure, to see challenges as opportunities, and to focus on solutions rather than problems. These aren't one-time choices. They're habits formed through repeated effort. One of the most transformative habits is learning to control your inner voice. The thoughts we allow into our minds influence everything from our mood to our motivation. Successful people develop the habit of positive self-talk, not fake optimism, but constructive thinking. When they make a mistake, they should not just say optimistic, but constructive thinking. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. For many, it feels like the end of the road, a sign that they weren't good enough, smart enough, or lucky enough. But those who truly succeed view failure through a different lens. They don't see it as a dead end. They see it as feedback. They understand that failure is not something to be feared or avoided, but embraced as a necessary part of the journey. In fact, for them, failure is one of the greatest teachers life can offer. When someone fails, it reveals more than just a mistake. It shows them where they stand, what they need to improve, and how they can grow. It offers a mirror to reflect not only on actions, but on mindset, discipline, and strategy. Failure is a moment of truth. It asks, are you willing to keep going? And, what are you willing to change? The people who rise after falling are not the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who extract wisdom from it. Most people avoid failure because they believe it reflects their identity. They think failing means they are failures. But this is a lie the mind tells when pride gets in the way of progress. Failing at something does not make you a failure. It means you tried. It means you had the courage to put yourself out there, to chase something uncertain. And that effort alone puts you ahead of those who never begin. The real tragedy isn't falling. It's refusing to rise again. Each failure carries a lesson, but only those who are willing to reflect and ascend. Success is never a final destination. It is a journey, one that requires constant evolution and growth. In a world that is constantly changing, the ability to adapt and learn is more valuable than any single skill or title. The most successful individuals don't stop learning once they achieve something. In fact, their achievements often mark the beginning of an even deeper commitment to personal growth. Lifelong learning is not just a choice. It is a mindset, a habit, and a way of living that fuels consistent progress. The world doesn't stand still. Technology advances, industries shift, and new ideas reshape how we live and work. In such a dynamic environment, resting on what you already know is risky. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start falling behind. Those who commit to lifelong learning understand this. They don't view knowledge as a fixed possession. They see it as a flow, something that must be refreshed, challenged, and expanded. Their curiosity drives them forward. They read, they ask questions, they seek feedback, and they remain open to new perspectives. Lifelong learners are humble. They know they don't have all the answers, and they're okay with that. In fact, their openness to being wrong is what makes them so powerful. They are not driven by ego or the need to always be right. They are driven by growth. When they encounter something they don't understand, they don't avoid it. They lean in. They study it, break it down, and figure out how to use. In the pursuit of success, it's easy to become consumed with outcomes, chasing goals, recognition, and achievement. But what truly defines a person in the long run is not just what they accomplish, but how they accomplish it. Character and kindness are often seen as secondary to strategy and ambition, yet they are the quiet forces that shape lasting success and meaningful impact. These qualities may not always be visible in the beginning, but over time, they become the foundation that supports everything else. Character is who you are when no one is watching. It is the inner compass that guides your decisions, especially when those decisions are difficult. It shows in your consistency, your honesty, and your ability to stand by your values, even when it's inconvenient. People with strong character don't take shortcuts, not because they can't, but because they choose not to. They understand that doing things the right way matters more than doing them the fastest or most profitable way. They value integrity over approval and substance over style. Kindness, too, is often underrated in environments that celebrate competition and toughness, but true strength lies in being kind, especially when you don't have to be. Kindness doesn't mean weakness, it means empathy, respect, and emotional intelligence. It's the ability to treat people with dignity, regardless of their position, status, or what they can offer in return. Kind people understand that relationships are the heartbeat of